popped off. We'll see if he can pop off this game as well.
Yeah, we'll see if he continues that streak of first or eighth gameplay, or if he cleans it up and he just plays really solid, because he did have a great Dragon Cup. He was looking very good in that tournament, and I think, you know, here's another opportunity for him to continue that high level of play here in set 7.5 and push in towards regionals. But we're going to kick it off with Renzer's board. He's going to grab a tier off the opening carousel.
Yeah, Renzer, some people will know who he is. He's been around for a while. He's played in some of the Giant Slayer tournaments. He actually hit rank 1 all the way back in set 4.5 at the end of the set. And so far, though, in set 7, he hasn't had the greatest time. He got day 1 in both Astral and Jade Cup, but he's here for Last Chance Qualifier. He already got a first in game 1, definitely looking to prove himself.
Yeah, he's got a Kai'Sa option here too. He's got an early Kai'Sa, has early Lagoons, and blue buff option available to him. So there is certainly a play to just go towards the Kai'Sa. I know this is a composition that he was playing a decent bit recently.
Yeah, he's been playing a good chunk of this. This is just a comp that's been in the meta recently. I will say I'm looking at Weijian Iverson, who is someone who's been playing a lot of Kai'Sa on ladders. So you saw him pop onto Renzer's board. You can see maybe he's looking at that like, hey, I might be getting contested, but the early blue buff just
yeah, I mean,
dominance. I love this play. No, when you know there's another degen in the lobby, this is actually correct. Assert your dominance. I am Kai'Sa this game. I will not pivot. You go ahead.
I mean, when I see this opening, I'm playing Kai'Sa 100%. Like,
100%.
I'm just playing. I'm forcing Kai'Sa. I'm gonna run it down. If it's contested, that's fine. I'm playing it. Like, I'm playing Kai'Sa when I see my 3 Lagoons early with a blue buff on my Kai'Sa. You're gonna be stacking that Sea Stone so quickly as well. I mean, this is a really, really good setup for Renzer. And you know, we saw how good Renzer was at capitalizing on an early win streak in that previous game, and now it's an opportunity to see how can he capitalize on an early direction, because that is a big part of the meta currently, is if you get early direction, being able to capitalize on that and push it to a solid placement.
For sure, it's not just direction. Slamming the blue buff on the creeps actually allowed Kai'Sa to get an extra cast off. Yeah. So, hey, it's 1 extra stack on the Sea Stone. That can matter. TFT at this level, it's all about those small advantages. He got that 1 small advantage and got to deal some mental damage in the process. So, yeah. all around good play.
Yeah, it's a big thing we're going to be looking at throughout the entire lobby, is just which players find that early direction, who's able to convert on it. A player that really impressed me in day 1 and day 2 of Dragon Cup doing exactly that was Covenel. So he's another player in this lobby I'm looking out for. Really, Dragon Cup was his first big breakout tournament of this set, and his performance on day 1 and 2 was outstanding. So we'll see if he can kind of continue that here in the LCQ, as Renzer's going to find a quick win here against Solus, and getting quite a few stacks in that first round, already up to 16.
Yeah, this is the blue buff Kai'Sa with early Lagoons. And like Boop and Frodan said in the pre-show, like, this meta is a lot about just finding your early direction. Renzer has already found his, and the best players in this lobby are going to be the ones who are good with when they have their direction early, and kind of playing the more like flowchart style of TFT. So Renzer has his. We're gonna hop on board with I'd Lucky, who was playing Rengar last game, got his 4th, had some success. I don't know if this is a Rengar game, looking at the Yone, although with the Mirage being electric overload.
Yeah,
I love my Yone. You know, this is my current one-trick degen. I'm probably the only one in the server who would play Yone this game, so I'm not getting my hopes up too much.
Well, so Lucky also picked Electrocharge, so there actually is option to play Leona reroll, play for the Guardians, and play with the Electrocharge and the Electric Overload Mirage. I've seen this composition do okay, but usually it does best if you hit early, and Lucky not having a Leona 2 yet, not having other Guardians, it might be a little bit too slow of a start to actually go in that direction.
Yeah, it all depends on how many Leonas you hit, what your items are. With the BF sword and the Negatron cloak, it's okay, and the chain vest as well. You have some good Leona components, but what you really want is the Warmog's armor more than anything, because electric overload scales off the unit's HP. So you get a 3-star Leona with a Warmog's, that's just a boatload of health, and with with some of the cells he's doing, honestly, this might be a Leona Yone game, so I'm excited for this.
Yeah, I mean, you want Mirage emblems as well. That cloak could turn into that if you're able to find a spatula or an Earth's grab bag later on, just so that you can turn, your like Braum 3 into a Mirage as well. I don't know that this is going to be a commitment from Lucky, but the option is there if we start to see them hit.
My inkling is that he's trying to commit to this because he's committing to a lose streak. He's committing to making econ with the open fort style. 20 is the maximum amount of gold you can make here, so he's opting into that, and by opting into that, he's opting not to hold other units. He's not trying to get any kind of early game besides what's on his board right now, so it's either going to be a level 6-3-2 or just commit to the Leona, and at this point, it definitely depends on what item he takes here, but it looks like it could be a full Leona commit.
Yep, no spat popped up. I know that would have been very nice for Lucky to see.
Lucky went for the glove, which is not an item that goes into that comp, so I think he's just being a degen. This man is a Rengar degen. He played Rengar last game. I'm pretty sure he's just going into a 3-2 roll down. He's gonna play Rengar again, and I don't know why I'm saying this like that's a bad thing, because we know me and my assassins. I would love to watch some Rengar, but it's a degen. What do we expect at this point?
Yeah, I think Lucky would do really... I mean, he did really well with it in that last game, even when it was contested.
Exactly.
It was finding that early Swain, being able to play through that and utilize the Swain plus the Radiant Dragon Claw in order to make it happen. Had Dragon Imperialist as well, so he finds some flexible angles to play around different units within the Darkflight composition as well. So, I mean, if Lucky's just comfortable with that composition, he was able to top 4, forcing it in the last game in a contested lobby. Maybe it is something that Lucky is able to just continue to force.
You see what's on his bench, right?
Yeah, he's got a Rengar.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the Rengar.
It's ready to go. He slammed IE. That was what it was for. I mean, that's going to be a good item for your Rengar. That's what you want to find.
Yeah, so looks like a Rengar game for him. So we have someone else who, even if he's making his own direction, he's gonna be playing Rengar. So we got I believe this is Renzer, who's still on a 100 HP streak.
Yeah, look at Renzer though. He was able to grab Shimmer Scale with that Itis. So Itis in front of your Kaisa is huge, but he got Goldmancer staff. So that Kaisa is just printing money for him. And Renzer's still on that full win streak with an Itis frontline for his Kaisa. I mean, once again, Renzer in a really great spot. We have 4 players, though, that are still at 100 HP. So some of these players are going to be losing these win streaks into Krugs.
I think this is the funniest HP differential on 2-6 I've ever seen.
It's crazy.
4 hundreds and then 4 all below 80? Are you kidding me?
Yep, everyone win streaking or lose streaking, and everybody is going to be getting snapped at this point, or at least half the field are going to lose their streaks in this bout here. It looks like Sag does have the setup of a Karma reroll, potentially, in the back, having that Karma with the Morellos. This could still pivot to just about anything at this point, but it is a very strong early game with that Karma. And it looks like Sag should be able to get this. Oh, maybe not quite. There is going to be that Vlad. At least there's healing reduction from the Karma with the Morellos. Might be able to take it down, but here comes the cast. It's enough.
Yep,
it's going to be Kevy taking that one.
Overtime Vlad coming in for Kevijo. He's the 100 HP streaker left at the end alongside with Renzer. So we had the 4, of course we had to dip it down to Deuce. Although Sag and TrickP both only took 1 unit losses, so they're at 98 HP, very healthy. Bottom half of the lobby, not as much.
No way. Is Covenel and I
they're holding hands
each other again?
Oh, these degens, I love it. This is my style of play right here. You commit, you play your line no matter what. I do not pivot. I love this. You know what? It feels bad for these two, but you know what? Massive respect to both of them.
Yeah, Covenel was one of the players that I had praised for being able to take an early line and just run with it. But it seems like in this tournament, feeling a lot more comfortable just playing the Darkflight angle. And that's tough when there's another known Darkflight player in your lobby with iLucky who's going to keep pushing for it. And it feels like this is something that could easily bite Covenel. And it looks like he's moving out, which I prefer this. I'm a fan of this for Covenant.
Nope. No. The pivoter marked.
Known pivoter Covenant.
Known
which
pivoter.
I'm gonna have to agree with him here. I don't think you keep fighting Lucky this whole time on that. Now, I also know that you're not gonna be able to play Kaisa fully because there is Renzer on that line. So Covenant gonna have to try and find a composition to play.
Oh, that's why he pivoted. Because Lucky has a Rengar 2 already. You know, as much as my heart says, no, we don't pivot, we do not wish to be marked, in tournament, this is correct. You see someone else who has a much better spot for the line. It's only 6 games. You just taking a free 8th here just does so much more harm than good that it's better to just pivot out. Yes, you're technically contesting Renzer, but Renzer might be opting into just a fast 9 off the Kaisa with the Goldmancer and has 100 HP streak, and Covenant as well might be looking to just use this Kaisa to push levels, so I'm not sure if either of them are going to be re-rolling, so them contesting each other isn't so big of a deal. You can see out there in the top left corner, or top right corner, excuse me, yeah. Renzer pushed level 7. If he was re-rolling Kaisa, he would still be level 6. That indicates to me he's using the Goldmancer staff, the blue buff Kaisa 2, to go fast 9 again, play for those dragons.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be making a lot of money on the way with Goldmancer, also all those Lagoon stacks that he's getting. And now there's preparation for Covenant and the opportunity to play the reroll style if he wanted to, because he's going to recognize that Renzer isn't going to push that. As we do see a pretty big roll down right now for Covenant to just try and find a stable board.
Yeah, I do like him rolling for units to prep, and he's actually... This indicates to me he's not re-rolling either. He's just looking for either a Kaisa 2 or a Volibear 2 to just use the Goldmancer staff with. And I think I know why he's not re-rolling either, because it's a Goldmancer staff lobby. And we got Solus, who's also got a Kaisa 2.
Yep, also having a Kaisa 2 with the Jeweled Gauntlet and the Goldmancers, but Solus has picked up Featherweight, so that's a little bit more of an indication that Solus wants to play for the Kaisa line later into the game.
Yeah, we'll see if he sticks with it. With that Kaisa line, you have both options easily available. We'll see. We'll see what Solus decides to end up in. For now, we have 2 players who I'm pretty confident are not playing reroll Kaisa. Covenant with the Seraphine's on bench as well, and the Zeke's Herald could be going into the Seraphine Graves line that has seen some nerfs, but it's still a very solid level 7, level 8 option for these players outside of all the reroll comps we've been seeing.
All right, we're jumping on board with Trick P. Does have the Guild Heart at the start of the game, potentially. And just look to play Zaya with the items that we've got, but there's a lot of flexibility still available. Decently strong board though, so a good spot to just have a lot of high HP and move into whatever composition they want to run.
Yeah, Trick P's sitting on just the Ezreal 1, which would be worrying if it didn't look like just a Last Whisper and static Shiv bot, so it's going to allow him to take this win over Wajan Iverson, who is sitting a little low at 42 HP, along with Lucky. So first or 8th player, we've seen that style of play bring it back before. So we'll see.
Couple spats. I was about to ask. Yeah, okay, never mind. I don't need to ask. I don't know. Why was I going to ask? Lucky's going to go get one so he can make his Darkflight Essence. But
yeah, exactly. It doesn't even matter what emblem he makes. It's just an emblem for Darkflight Essence. So he's just grabbing a spat.
Look at the augment Renzer took. That's late game specialist.
He took, yo!
Yeah, but this is what a spot to take it. You know what?
That is an amazing spot. Yeah, he's hitting level 9 at probably like 5-1, 5-3. I would say 5-3, and he's going to have easily 50 gold to roll down. Oh, that's so good for him.
Yeah, just as a note for the people at home, because you did not get to see the entirety of Lobby B unless you were looking at their other individual streams. In the previous game of Lobby B, in game 1, Renzer also was streaking at 100 HP at this point in the game. He was able to convert that to a really solid level 9 full dragon composition, got that first place as you were able to catch the end of that. And once again, Renzer pushing towards that 9, being able to play a very strong board early game, continue to just run with that strong board, making the right decisions to keep that win streak. And now he's setting himself up to go fast 9 once again with late game specialists. So once he gets there, he's going to be able to roll down and find those dragons.
Indeed, on the other side, we have Wajan Iverson, who just went through a level 7 roll down on the 3-5, to be expected with how low HP he is. He is opting into the Seraphine Graves, which is that kind of level 7 option you want to go for, and it's something we've seen a lot of players in a lot of tournaments go for as your low roll level 7 out. You're not necessarily expecting to top 4 from this spot with it, but you just play it for now. You use it to try and go for a 6, maybe a 5th. So if he does complete the board, he has maybe a few less upgrades than you would want. And I say that as he hits Graves 2. Basically, the only important one he's missing is Seraphine 2. But when you have Rakan 2, Pantheon 2, Graves 2, and Zac 2, you have your 2 4 costs upgraded on 3-6. Who cares about a Seraphine 1?
Yeah, he should be very stable, but he does run into iLucky, who has also rolled down towards his composition. iLucky was actually just able to take down a Renzer and end that win streak on top of that. But it does feel like Wajan Iverson should be stronger with hitting the Panth and the Graves into just the Rengar, even with that Dark Flight Essence. Not going to be able to get through both of these, I can't imagine.
Yeah, it's a little bit close, but off those 2 4-cost hits, yeah, Wajan Iverson's going to take it. iLucky going to be down there at 30 HP. Not a great spot for him. So as we just take some stock at the lobby, Renzer did lose his win streak. That's going to hamper his Fast 9 a little bit, but shouldn't be by too much. I imagine with the Goldmancer staff, he's been farming a ton of gold, so he's going to be plenty rich. Still going to be angling that. For Sag on your screen, we're looking at probably going to be going for the Soifin line, which it got some nerfs in the most recent patch, but it's still something a lot of players have been playing, especially when you have to roll on level 7. You can't really reroll. So we're going into the roll down, and let's see what he hits.
Yeah, I mean, Sag has some fantastic items and has done a really good job on preserving HP throughout the early and mid game. Still at 74 here on stage 4, and if he can just find his Soy, if he can find his Siphon, he's gonna be in a really good spot with this itemization.
I think, especially with such little time left in the round, he's deciding to just take his few rolls, see that he missed, and now just say, hey, I have some HP to work with. Let's just go level 8 potentially at this point. He's going to save up to 50 gold. Still going to have about 30 left once he goes level 8 on 4-5. And I do like this, especially with how slow he was rolling. He was just looking for maybe a bit of something. Okay, he didn't find it. Let's not waste more gold than we already have. Let's just cut our losses. And this is a really good loss to Kevijo. So it's not the end of the world for Sag.
Yeah, it's a great loss, especially considering Kevi has hit that 2-star on their dragon as well, which is crazy. Their Sohm is at 2 stars already on 4-1, so not a bad loss whatsoever.
Meanwhile, Covenel, easy reroll on his augments. 3 pretty bad augments into 3 actually pretty good augments. Chooses to go with the Celestial Blessing, and he's going to go into his roll down as well. It looks like he's going also for that Seraphine Graves comp. Hits the Pantheon 2 as well. Not found the Graves. Has found the Neela, which can hold the items pretty well, but there's the Graves. Yep, this is pretty much what we expected. He had to wait a turn because he was so low on gold, but he is more or less hitting now. Found the comp. He is missing a Zeri. Looks like he's going to keep rolling for that. It looks like there. Found the Zeri.
Got it.
Okay, we have the comp. We're good to go.
Yeah, Covenel cannot find a comp that's not contested. Cannot buy a
Absolutely
break
not.
It's just everything he tried this game was contested by someone else. Eventually gets here, though, on having a Seraphine 2 and a Pantheon 2. Could help him stabilize. Just looking for as many placements as he can, because this game has felt really doomed the whole time for Covenel. So I think he's just going to take what he can get, and at least getting to a composition should help maybe hang on to make it not an 8th. Is really what Covenel's looking for.
Yeah, and he's going to hang on versus Sag, who did roll down a little bit more. You can see over on the eggs on the right side, that indicates he has about 40 gold left, which means he rolled about 20 gold or so, found a Siphon, and was able to not quite hit strong enough board to beat Covenel. Over for Lucky though.
Yeah,
We see the same thing, right? Huh?
Yeah, that's a Rengar 3 right there.
I think he hit that on 4-2 as well. And there's a 10th Rengar.
That's an early Rengar 3.
That is
4-2 Rengar 3 is pretty gross.
I would say this is the earliest one I've seen, but I have hit it on 4-1, so this is still really early. That's disgusting. That's the best I got.
Yeah, I mean, iLucky's going to be able to conserve a lot of gold here when streaking with this Rengar 3 and potentially lead into a Swain 2 and start to fill out the comp. So I think Lucky's in a good position to find their way back up to a top 4, even though they are very low on HP right now. It is just a matter of, does Renzer, go 9, find some capped dragons, and kill Lucky before other people start to die?
Yeah, this isn't something I think will take first in the lobby. However, it is contingent on Renzer hitting level 9, hitting that board, because you can see he is losing fights now. He's at 53 HP, so he's got to go level 9 fast. It's probably going to be 5-1 for him, and that's also contingent on, does he hit the board? Just because you go fast 9 doesn't mean you're hitting those dragons. Yeah,
and late game specialist will help that fact. It will help you hit those dragons, but it does not guarantee it. It just gives you a lot more gold to work with to actually roll down and find them, but still going to be up to Renzer to make that roll down happen. Just taking stock of some of the augments Kevy we saw with that Psalm 2 does grab Oasis, going to be able to help out with any crowd control that could come through. Solus, who was playing the kind of featherweights board with the Kaisa, grabbed a portable forge, so hopefully we'll get a chance to see what he ended up getting. But TrickP being able to get a guild crest for his Xayah, we called out it might be Xayah earlier. Well, a guild crest is going to definitely make it be Xayah. You really still love this guild Xayah, an 8 of 8 guild with that. So TrickP gonna have a good Xayah setup for now.
Yeah, he's missing the Ginzu's Rage Blade, which is an item that a lot of players consider almost mandatory on Xayah, but he's at 85 HP. Him having the Bis item honestly doesn't matter that much. It's still got plenty of attack speed from having the guild emblem on from 8 guild and an extra swift shot with the swift shot crest on the Hecarim. So gonna look like he's taking this fight over Covenel. So preserving HP, slamming good items. TrickP's 85 HP. He's doing pretty well for himself this game.
Yeah, I mean, he has time to potentially pivot it into a Shyvana as well, so that you can have that extra Rage Wing for even more attack speed. There's certainly room to continue to improve that composition, and just having 85 HP and still winning rounds is just a massively good position to be in for TrickP.
Yeah, we hop over to Solus, who did indeed go for the Kaisa 3, pulled a Zanya's off of the portable forge. This is probably the best portable forge item for Kaisa. By the end of a fight, it's usually Kaisa alone in the corner actually just firing off rapid fire missiles. This item buys so much time for her to do that, to just 1v9 at the end of a fight. So very good pull from Forge for Solus. Hit a Zac 3 as well. That's going to help his front line a very good amount. So going against Sag, who did hit the full Siphon board on level 7, both Siphon and the Shio-Yu to start already.
Yeah, and they got on the Kaisa, but you can just see that Zhonya's Hourglass doing work. It stops halfway through, sends those dragons on their way back towards the front line, and even though the positioning caused the Kaisa to get gone on early, Solus is still able to take that round.
Just buys so much time, and it's such a good defensive item for Kaisa, especially in this lobby where you have the Rengar 3 who just barely lost to Asian Iverson, and you have the Siphon diving to the back line. You have so many things that can kill this Kaisa. Zanya's is a perfect defensive item for her.
And now we've got Radiant items in the Dragon here. Zeke's Harmony, the current offer for Solus, but also a Zephyr there, which is nice. Can get a Redemption as the last build there. Not too bad. So we jump over to Renzer, who has now gone to 9. And of course, that late game specialist means we've got 60 gold to work with. Break down this roll down for me, Riley.
Yeah, found the Aurelion Soul already, which is going to be the best user of the blue buff he has on bench. Has an Ao Shin, that's the second legendary dragon carry. Has a Terra, finds an Ao Shin too. There's the big hit he needed. He's just got to figure out how to pivot this board into 4 dragons as best he can. Probably wants to fit the Terra in as well. a 4th Alshin for
there's a
good
Shyvana.
measure. And there's a Shyvana, and he's got time because of it being the Treasure Dragon round. He basically has 2 full rounds to be able to figure out his items. Has the Alshin 2, just trying to figure out how to work how to work his dragons in. For now, we're just going to chill on this board. He's going to worry about positioning some. Very, very good roll down for Renzer.
Yeah, this is big once again, setting himself up to go first with a big dragon board. He has 31 HP still, so it should be enough HP overall, as we just see a big gold pop there as he does complete his diamond hands.
Yeah, diamond hands. Is it going to be enough? It's not going to quite be enough.
That's a big hit.
That is a very big hit. I wonder if he's going to stay on 5 Shimmer Scale just to have diamond hands, although I'm not entirely sure it's correct. Just because his front line is so weak without Terra. He also doesn't have an Idis 2. He's sitting on Shyvana 1, not even an Idis pair. Yeah, he's gonna sell off the Shimmer Scales. Screw those. We're gonna get in the Soraka. Finds the second Terra as well. As long as we can find these 2-star dragons, it's 5-2. Normally we see these boards around 6-1. He's so many pairs.
Wow, okay. At least he finds that Soraka too. That'll help his front line a little bit. And there's the Terra with the champion duplicator.
Duplicates the Terra. Yep. That's
I lucky though.
This is a 5-2 board, by the way. Alshin 2, Terra 2, Bard 2, Soraka 2. You've got Aurelion Sol and Shyvana paired.
Yeah, I think Lucky was one of the scariest people to run into, and I think Renzer might still be able to just win this, but that Rengar being able to jump on the Alshin is definitely scary. Not something you have to worry about anymore. However, the positioning wasn't enough. Lucky gonna go down in 8th, which, considering how early that Rengar 3 was hit, is a surprising placement for iLucky.
Honestly, the Rengar 3 that early is a little bit of a low roll because it's not a Swain 2. That comp is as much about Swain as it is about Rengar, and it looks like Lucky was stuck on the 1-star Swain for a while, so just wasn't able to find the good front line to really let the Rengar do its work. Also running into a Cap Dragon board already. Yeah, he's going down there.
Yeah, this is pretty awesome for Covenant, finding that Radiant Zeeks. Maybe there's a world that he can hold on a little bit longer. I know Covenant, we mentioned, was fighting for not 8th in this game based on the spot he was in. And he's succeeded in that. But how much more can he take it with this Radiant Zeeks, all the auras, the extra protection on the back line, going up against a Soam, so that Bramble Vest on Graves not going to be doing much work against this. It looks like probably is going to Kevi. It's very close. The Grave stays alive a little bit longer, but Soam is still kicking. Can we get another Zyra cast before everything dies? We cannot. Covenel gonna go out in 7th.
Yeah, Covenel in 7th. Wajan Iverson, who is on the opposite end kind of these players that had lose streaks early and had to go into pretty heavy roll downs on 7 for the Seraphine Graves. Covenel was fighting for not 8th, was the one who rolled down later. He got not 8th, so mission accomplished. Wajan Iverson was keeping himself relatively healthy for a little while. Just recently took a loss at 20 HP. He was fighting for maybe 6th, 5th place. He got that far already. Does he get much further? I'm not sure, considering we have Sag with a strong Soifen board, and then Renzer with the dragons right below him. So we'll see how much further he can get.
Yeah, Sag with the Radiant Edge of Night on the Soy and an Edge of Night over on the Siphon. And now an Edge of Night for the Pantheon as well. So he's having his board, his most important carry is always having ways to try and survive a little bit longer, get that extra attack speed.
Yeah, Edges of Night all over the place. He's going to go into Renzer. Oh my... So we see the Shyvana 2 and the Aurelion Sol 2 too, right?
Yeah.
Sir, Renzer, it is 5-5. What?
He's actually losing
and
this.
He's losing.
He's actually gonna lose this. It's the Bash Bros coming through for Sag. Gonna take out Renzer's insane board. Not quite able to kill him, but that would have been a tragedy for Renzer to lose there with the board he's got. But still, it means he can bleed, and he's on 1 life.
Oh, dragons. In all fairness, Renzer doesn't have the greatest frontline. His frontline items are Ionic Spark, Redemption, Terra, which you don't have the gargoyles, you don't have the warmogs, you don't have good tankiness on that unit. So he's just not able to quite buy enough time for the Aurelion Soul and the Ao Shin to get their damage off. So yes, that board looks insane if you just look at the units on it. But when you look at the items, it tells actually a different story, that the board isn't quite as capped as it could be.
All right, and once again, we're seeing Sag fighting up against Kevy this time. Looks like that Sohm is doing so much damage, but the Edge of Night being able to help these units stay alive a little bit longer. Now Sohm is getting beat up by Soy, but it's not enough, and it looks like Sag gonna go out in 6th. Felt like they had built a very strong board and was maybe having a chance to get towards that top 4. It goes down to Kevy.
Yeah, just not able to keep up with this lobby.
Ooh, triple items.
Triple item Rift Herald. We're looking at Trick P. By the way, is 52 HP, going level 9 on a Xayah 1, because he has 9 guild.
9 guild, pretty great. Pretty great.
Huh.
The 9 guild. The secret 9th guild bonus coming in. But actually, guild
what
is
is the
interesting
secret 9th guild bonus, Casa?
What is the secret 9th guild bonus? You're 1 guild away from having a full raid team. That's what you got. You've got a full raid team coming through.
I'm going to suggest that the secret 9th guild is sexiness.
Sexiness.
Trick P is very sexy. Yes. Actually, he's not anymore because he dropped the 6th guild. Never mind. I lied.
6th guild doesn't have the 9 guild bonus anymore.
Nope, not anymore. Sag.
It's a tragedy, but does get the Siobhan in for the Rage Wing and finds a Yasuo.
Wait a second. Legion Iverson has Pantheon 3.
Hey, yo. That's
so...
When did he pick this up? Did he just get this on this round? I think
he just got it on this round. Yeah, you look at the sidebar, he just got it. He was fighting for not bot 4. And if it's okay. It's lost. It's a ghost. It's a ghost. But still, Renzer goes down in 5th, by the way, because he didn't have really good frontline items.
The dragon board goes down. I wonder if he ran into Asian and just like lost to this Pantheon.
Yeah, we'll have to check on that. But Trick P hitting the Shyvana 2 finally found the Xayah 2. Wishing Iverson with a Pantheon 3. Solus apparently just happy to be chilling with a Kaisa 3. Kevy with his Sohm board now at level 9. This is a crazy lobby, Casa.
Yeah, I mean, we just gotta watch this Pantheon. It doesn't have, you know, the optimal items, but it is very tanky in this one, so it might just be enough with those tanky stats. Usually you want the regen, but having Thieves' Gloves means you can't pick what is on there, but this is a Pantheon 3, and it's just gonna run over Kevy. It's way too tanky to be able to be taken down beforehand by having that Bramble and, well, really the Warmogs being the big one. So just would need Wasian to miss on the items, and I think Kevy might have enough damage to actually take that Pantheon out.
Yeah, Solus goes down in 4th. He was the one who's just kind of happy to be here when you look at the health and the boards of these top 3 players. Wasian Iverson getting to top 3. Is the question, though, is he going to beat Trick P? Because Trick P has a pretty capped out Xayah board, and Xayah isn't something we've been seeing a lot of this patch. It's not something we've thought of as very strong, but we're gonna get a chance to see if this is gonna be enough for Wasian Iverson.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. This Shyvana 2 has been claimed by Trick P. The items on the Pantheon are not particularly good in this fight, and he's already going down. And because you don't have that regen, usually you'd see Pantheon cast that ultimate, heal up the full, but because he does not have the choice of items, he's instead just going to go down, and Trick P is going to be able to pick up that lobby. Did not see which placement Wasian Iverson went in.